Let's talk about Stranger Things Season 5. The end is indeed here. In about 24 hours or so, we are going to be watching this epic series come to a conclusion that I hope is as satisfying as everybody wants as well. And I just don't know how they're going to end it and wrap it up, right? But we are getting it in 3 parts. Volume 1 comes out tomorrow, Volume 2 comes out on Christmas Day, and Volume 3 comes out on New Year's Eve. And the big question everybody has is somebody going to die, right? Because we always think that with series when they come to an end. I don't think so. I think that definitely the series has showcased that it doesn't go ahead and take big risks. The only time they did kind of was with Barb in season 1 and then with Eddie Munson in season 4. And we did see that there was a big uproar still for both of those characters. And it is a thing that really has showcased to me that maybe they don't really want to take away from their main roster, right? I mean, I'm still reeling over Alexi in season 3, but that's a whole other story right there. What would happen if in this season we find out that 11 actually does feel a bit of guilt for what happened to Will, not just because he was taken, but now because we know he was taken specifically by Vecna, and this is the reason that Vecna has become so attached to Hawkins now, because he took Will and used them for something that we still don't really comprehend what that might be. Maybe it was sort of to use as a spy of sorts, which we've all sort of started to realize that Will and Vecna have this connection that can never be taken. And we know now that Will and Vecna are also interlinked because of that. And that's the reason that Vecna was able to maybe infiltrate Hawkins a lot easier. So when 11 first left the Hawkins laboratory in season 1 and eventually made it here to the town and was being hunted by Vecna, probably we know because Vecna was already a thing, but Will got taken instead. And for a long time we just probably assumed that it was because Vecna was opening the portals, a Demogorgon got out, eventually leading Mr. Will here into the Upside Down on quote-unquote accident. But what if that was no accident indeed, and maybe 11 was trying to get rid of the Demogorgon that was on her, and the only way she saw fit was to get this other human that's kind of her size and get that person taken. I think 11 ultimately maybe regretted this and saw how Will's friends were so proactive on trying to get Will back, and sort of found the love that she always had been wanting was being showcased here, and that's why she decided to ultimately help in getting Will. The guilt and maybe seeing that there is indeed love, because 11 grew up in the laboratory. There's no love there. It's cold, it's sterile, and there's just nothing there but just horrors of experiments and science going on, right? And she saw community here in Hawkins. She saw that there was warmth, there was love. Hopper came into her life as well, and that maybe was something that pushed her to try and help Will at the end of season 1, ultimately sacrificing herself at a point because she goes onto the other side in order to be able to lock this portal down and destroy the Demogorgon in season 1. So I think that is why we're seeing her train even harder now in season 5 in the clips that we saw, because she realizes that Vecna is here because of her, because he's wanting to get her back, and ultimately the whole thing and the ordeal with Will was because of her as well. So could 11 actually sacrifice herself at the end of season 5 in order to finally get rid of Vecna, shut down the Upside Down for good, and ultimately get out of this situation by just sacrificing herself? That was a big thing the Duffer Brothers wanted to do, according to the reports when season 1 first got announced. So the Duffer Brothers ultimately wanted to do a Stranger Things movie. That was their big thing here. Then it got changed to a limited series where they were going to have 11 sacrifice herself and then die ultimately to save Hawkins. But of course, with the success and everything that seemed to be coming, they kind of figure, you know what, let's open the door for a possibility of season 2. Stranger Things goes on to blow up. I mean, that was pandemonium when it first came out. I remember season 1, everybody was trying to be Hopper, Joyce, 11, part of the club, all of that for Halloween. That was pretty much when it was intensified. And then season 2 and 3 were popular, but season 4 really came in as a heavy hitter. And that's why I feel like we could potentially see a spin-off of sorts. But I'll talk more about that once Stranger Things Season 5 wraps. We'll talk about what that would possibly be, because I don't think Netflix is going to let go of Stranger Things just like that. Trust me, they won't. But I do think that 11 could possibly be feeling that she is guilty of what happened to Will. Maybe we find out certain things in Season 5. You know how they do It Chapter 2, where you find out that there was more going on with the kids than we initially really thought. And I've always said that Stranger Things does kind of remind me of it, especially the story wise with the friends and all that. And I think we're going to find out some things about the kids throughout the last couple of years that we really maybe didn't get to see, and it's going to sort of mold them into different characters, and maybe that's why they have different motivations. Maybe there was more to Eleven helping the Demogorgon and Vecna lead into Will than we know. Her using her psychic abilities, of course, she didn't really have to be near to do these things, and that could possibly be why she feels the guilt she does. She even says that Will being taken is her fault at point in season 1. And now, of course, this could be because we might be thinking she opened these portals and all of that to the Upside Down accident while she was in the laboratory, but maybe it really was her fault. Maybe she was leading them on so she could plan her escape, and ultimately didn't believe that she would sort of have her heart be warmed up by these people in Hawkins that showed her compassion and protected her from all of this. And that's why she ultimately decided to help them out as much as she could, because she felt that guilt. So you let me know your thoughts and opinions on Eleven and Will's connection. I'm going to go out with a crazy theory that, but of course this is just a crazy wall theory that I don't think has any merit, because we already know who Eleven's mother is. But what if that's a lie? What if that was not her mother and her mother was actually Joyce and Will's her brother? I know I threw that crazy ass theory like nothing, but maybe this is a reason that Will's able to survive the Upside Down as well. Maybe they are twins of sorts, and then he ultimately has some secret powers buried deep within him that we don't know of just yet. Maybe Joyce was never told she had twins, and it was a whole thing, a cover-up of sorts. I know this is like crazy theory from me, and I'm not saying this has any like merit to it at all, and take it with a grain of salt, like the smallest grain of salt you can find, because this is probably not true. But I just thought it'd be fun to throw that out, because I've always thought about that. That would be a crazy ass twist, that they're like, that was never your mother. Joyce was your mother and we took you apart. And that's why Vecna's after Will, because that's the closest thing to 11 maybe he could get at that point, and he was just going to be like, whatever. But I don't believe that theory that much, but I do believe that we're going to find out maybe 11 knew a little bit more about what happened to Will, and that is why she's training so hard to save him and Hawkins. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on that. Tomorrow, Stranger Things, we'll do a bit of a watch party. We'll do some theories, and we'll talk about the ending as well. So it's going to be good. It's going to be exciting. Cannot wait. I'll see you next time. Hit the subscribe and notification bell. 50,000 subscribers is the goal. Stay safe. Stay positive.